Alright, against the odds time, playing some Zur-an in Modern. And we'll keep this. Neither of our namesake cards. Oh man. But Nyx Fleas. Nyx Fleas, so good. Also Spellskite. This is like the the nightmare. Oh, and there's Zur. This is the nightmare hand for a burn deck. Oh, the old 4 Nyx Fleas Ram deck. Not what you want to see when you're burn. Nyx Fleas Ram, number 1. Marsh Flats. We're just going to pass. We're not going to shock ourselves. Yup. You Magma Jettas. Another land for our opponent. And passes. Alright, crack this. Get a Watery Grave, I think. Start gaining life. Back up to 15. Whew. Good God. Well, let's just Marsh Flats. Crack Marsh Flats. Get a Plains. And get our Zur out there. Feeling good about where we're at. Safer line there might have been just to Spellskite. Oh boy. Poor opponent. Lightning Bolt to 9. Well, I guess Bolt would get us here. Opponent passes. Skullcrack. Ay, no life gain. Now I think we have to play Spellskite. Let's play Spellskite. Go attacking. And I think we just get a Assault Formation. So we hit for 9. Have lethal next turn. And have double Spellskite activations. Alright. So, eat that Lightning Bolt with Spellskite. I think this line saved us. Oh man, Assault Formations are... Oh my god. And our opponent scoops it up. Alright, that was good. Do we have anything specifically to fight against a burden deck? Not really, actually. Alright, we'll run it back. Alright. I guess this is fine. There's a Spark Elemental for our opponent. It's in, 4-3. Could use a Land Inquisition. Well, Temple Garden, Birds of Paradise. Ay, shocking ourselves bad, but we gotta do it. Pestered. Mountain for our opponent. Another Spark Elemental. Yep, down to 12. Lava Spike down to 9. Yikes. Alright, come on, lands. Let's lead on Inquisition. Take Flames of the Blood Hand. Play an island. Play Spellskite. Pass the turn. Skullcrack down to 6. Probably should have held that. Opponent passes. Oh man, Doran. Well, I think we need to Courser first. Play Courser. We got the combo. Zur-an. Zur on top. Doran in hand. Pass the turn. Up to 7. Opponent passes. Land? There's a land. Play the forest off the top of our deck. Gain a life. Play Zur. Get in with our Courser. Do we win next turn by playing Doran? 8, 12, 16, 17? Maybe? Land on top. Wait, so let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17 we could hit for? Play Doran. Watery Grave, tapped, go up to 3. Attack with our stuff. Zur gets us, I guess, just another Courser. Hit our opponent for 12. Hope they don't draw something we can't redirect with Spellskite. And our opponent scoops it up. Woo, Zur-an, this deck is sweet. I mean, that was a budget burn deck, but still. Wow, the synergy, so sweet. Woo, I like it. I like it. All right, against the odds time, playing some Zur-an in Modern, and I guess this is fine. No real payoff cards, but birds, Nyx Fleas, Well, let's just Wooded Foothills, crack it, get a forest, and birds. Pass the turn. Blooming Marsh for our opponent, and Inquisition takes the path. Let's just Nyx Fleece Ram, Hollowed Fountain tapped, pass the turn. Next turn we can Courser, immediately land. Hopefully we don't get discarded. Marsh Flats, cracks it. Temple Garden, and there's a Goeef. We start gaining life. And let's play Courser, see if there's a land on top. There is. I'll play Temple Garden, untapped. Jeez, more lands on top. Birds of Paradise, and pass turn. We really want this Courser to live. Because we're drawing a land next turn too. Shambling Vent for our opponent. Another Goeef. Well, play Windswept Teeth, gain a life, pass the turn, Abrupt Decay, well, crack Windswept Teeth, get a Godless Shrine, tapped. Ooh, Aetherios. That's not really close to turning on, though, and our opponent gets to start beating down with Double Goyf. Yeah, we might be in trouble, we just have not drawn anything. Play Aetherios, Marsh Flats, pass the turn, Godless Shrine for our opponent, tapped. God. Maelstrom Pulse are birds. Opponent takes the damage, Well, I guess we're dropping to 1. Crack this. Watery Grave, tapped. Actually, maybe we just block here. Block with Nyx Fleece Ram. I think we need to draw Detention Sphere as the card that could matter. Alright. Whew! Alright, rough draw. Well, we can bring in a Phyrexian Arena. Bring in Rest in Peace. Let's go down Aetherios and the Noble Hierarch. Try it like that. Alright, reasonable. I don't know about super good, but reasonable. Overgrown Tomb, untapped, and Birds of Paradise. Pass the turn. Windswept Teeth. Opponent cracks it. Overgrown Tomb, untapped, and Fatal Push on our birds. Well, let's Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills. Get a Temple Garden, untapped, and just run out Nyx Fleece Ram. Hopefully we draw land next turn for Doran. Or our opponent Inquisitions our Doran. Takes Detention Sphere. Interesting. Land? We start gaining life. Alright, there's a land. Marsh Flats. Crack Marsh Flats. Get a... We need a blue source. Let's get Watery Grave. Untapped. Play Doran. Get in. 4-5. Opponent must have removal for Doran. Opponent's down to 12. Pass turn. Could use a Zur. Tarmogoyf for our opponent. We gain a life. Also could just use removal. Well, Birds of Paradise... Spellskite. Pass the turn. Now let's redirect to Spellskite. Get a Plains. Oh, Maelstrom Pulse, really? Tireless Tracker. Clue. No attacks. Come on, Zur. Another Spellskite's not bad. So, Spellskite. Nyx Fleece Ram number 2. Get in with our birds for 1. Pass turn. So we mostly just want removal or Zur. Or Zur gets us removal. If we get rid of this Goyf, we probably have lethal. Opponent plays land, gets clue. Lingering Souls for our opponent. Ooh, that's a draw. Gavany Township. Pass the turn. Now we just get to start making our team bigger. Yeah, opponent's getting to Desperation Mode. Cracks the clue. And we got Spellskite defense. Liliana. Yep. Takes down. I guess we'll just sack birds. No attacks. Now, Gavany Township, counters on the team, gain some life. Forest. So what happens if we just attack with everything? Well, let's attack with Nyx Fleece Rams at least. Blocks. Okay. Well, let's Township. Play the Forest. Pass the turn. Things are looking good! Verdant Catacombs gets our opponent a clue. Cracks it. Down to 9. Cracks a clue. Draws a card. Takes up. Discards a card. Lingering Souls. Well, our opponent can chump block for a while, thanks to Lingering Souls. Flashes back. Opponent passes. Well, send everything at our opponent. Pass our Spellskite. Chump. Well, play Marsh Flats, pass the turn. Man, we haven't drawn anything. Flooding out. Cracks a clue. We were in such a good spot, too. And now we're going to lose. Opponent goes attacking. Flashes back Lingering Souls. Takes up Liliana. Well, if we draw a removal spell, we win. Which I think means we crack this Marsh Flats. Thin our deck. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Pump up our team. Yep, Path or Fatal Push just wins the game. Or another Windswept Teeth. Tag our opponent with everything. Opponent double chumps. Oh boy. Deck. We've just drawn way too many lands. Opponent cracks a clue. And our opponent drew a lot of Lingering Souls, unfortunately. Gets in for 7. Down to 5. Takes down Liliana. We sack our Nyx Fleece Ram. Lingering Souls number 1,000,000. Well, Gavany Township, and that's game. Spellskite, too late, and that does it. Whoo! Well, Sometimes you draw a lot of lands in a row. Alright, against the odds time, playing some Zur, and Doran in Modern. And we gotta mulligan this. We can't just keep all lands. We'll actually keep this and hope we find lands. Goblin Guide for our opponent. Well, give us some lands, opponent. Give us some land. Oh, attack so we get a land. Come on. Alright, we got a land. That's good. I don't think we can lose to this deck. Let's just Inquisition. Bolt, Spike. Well, I guess technically Bolt is better. Pass the turn. Oh, 4 Nyx Fleece Ram, 4 Courser of Krufix Plan in the main deck. So good against Burn. I mean, we can lose to it. We can lose to anything, but this should be one of our best matchups. Arid Mesa cracks it. Is this Naya Burn? Looks like. Sacred Foundry. Lava Spike, down to 17. Lightning Bolt, down to 14. Gets in. We get Spellskite on top. Oh yeah, and Spellskites. 4 Coursers, 4 Nyx Fleece Ram, 3 Spellskites. We just naturally hose burn so bad. I wish our mana was better, but let's just play a Nyx Fleece Ram. Pass the turn. Arid Mesa for our opponent. Eidolon of the Great Revel. That is a bit obnoxious. We start gaining life, though. Fatal Push. Well, pass the turn. I think what we got to do here is wait for our opponent to attack, hopefully get a land. Fatal Push Eidolon. Opponent attacks. There's a land. That's good. So, block Goblin Guide. Fatal Push Eidolon. Take our beats. They're going to bolt our Nyx Fleece Ram. Alright. At 11. Lava Spike to 8. And opponent passes. We go back up to 9. Uh-oh. Cracks Arid Mesa. Is this Skull Crack? Get some Mountain. Boros Charm. Helix. Boros Charm. Alright, down to 4. So let's just Spellskite. Keep locking it in. Play a tap land. Pass the turn. Opponent passes. Up to 6. Well, Inquisition our opponent. Just a land. Makes sense. Nah, Inquisition's not getting any better. Play a Windswept Heath. Pass the turn. I'll crack this. Get a blue source. A breeding pool. Tapped. That be a Zur, boys and girls. Yup. Now we can start beating down, and we can... Oh, we can get our assault formation. So good. Opponent passes. We go up to 7. Let's get in with Zur. And let's play it safe-ish. Let's get a Courser. Alright, land on top. That's good. Man, we are just set up to wreck burn. Play Township. Gain a life. Inquisition our opponent. Get rid of the Lava Spike. Play Aetherios. Leave up blue. And Pestered. And our opponent scoops it up. Sweet. We don't really have sideboard cards, but that's okay because we have a main deck set up to destroy burn. Oh man, this is the same hand we had game 1. Well, we're gonna mulligan it again. Okay. Not great, but we get a Courser and we got Zurs once we get to him. I guess we keep the island. It's greedy, but it gives us, well, definitely good now that there's a Goblin Guide. Opponent gets in, we get our island. Overgrown Tomb, tapped. Pass the turn. Swift Spear for our opponent. Getting in for 3. Spellskite on top. Alright. Spellskite's a blocker. That's good. So, Island and Spellskite. Ship the turn. Well, if people are playing Burn in your local meta, try out this deck. Alright, we'll block the Goblin Guide. Down to 14. Lava Spike. Post-combat. Down to 11. Well, Windswept Heath. Crack Windswept Heath. Get a Forest and Courser. Ooh, Doran on top, too. Jeez, we got it all. Lava Spike down to 7. Opponent's giving it a shot, but... Well, let's play Marsh Flats, gain a life. Crack Marsh Flats. Shuffle away High Arc. Get a Plains, gain a life. And just Zur and pass turn. Next turn, the real fun begins. Another Goblin Guide. Opponent passes. Spellskite on top. Well, let's Inquisition our opponent. Well, let's just take, I don't even know, a Destructive Revelry. Attack with Zur. Get, I guess we can just get another Courser. So, hit our opponent for 1. Play a Marsh Flats. Gain a couple of life. And pass the turn. Opponent found their second land, which means they can try to start doing things like Destructive Revelry, but I think it's too little too late here. Destructive Revelry, well, redirect to Spellskite. Down to 8. Passes. Well, crack this. We don't want Zur. Get a... I guess Godless Shrine? Tapped. Alright, land on top. Land on top. Well, let's play Doran. Attack, attack. Tutor out a... Yeah, let's just gonna... Courser number 3. Why not? And then we'll play Temple Garden. Go back up to 13. Or 12. Pass the turn. Oh, what a miserable matchup. If we could just play Burn all day, every day, this would be the best deck in Modern. Alright, against the odds time, playing some Zur-an in Modern. And we'll try this. It's not great, but it's reasonable. Let's crack our Wooded Foothills, get an Overgrown Tomb, untapped, and Inquisition. Terminate. Pass the turn. Darkslake Shores for our opponent. Watery Grave. Not the best of lands here. Pass the turn. Could use white mana. Spire Bluff for our opponent. We'll play a Forest. Play Courser. Township on top. Still not white mana, though. There's the fetch land, so our opponent's going to be able to kill our Courser, and we can't do anything. Well, Gavany Township. Pass the turn. Come on, white mana. Still no white mana. Pass turn. Opponent Thought Scours themselves. Cracks Bloodstained Mire. Blood Crypt. Tapped. Bloodstained Mire. Drew into a Tasigur. Okay. Well, I guess Birds of Paradise. Oh, man. This hand was good, too, but we're not going to win this game, I don't think. Not finding white mana is going to be the death of us. We have 10 fetches. I guess maybe I should have just got white mana turn 1, and then we wouldn't have been able to Thoughtseize. We know our opponent has Electrolyze. Let's just pass the turn. No Tasigur activation. Opponent attacks. Well, let's Path. Activates Tasigur. They can have a... Spell Snare is not very good. There's white mana. Alright. So now we get to play Marsh Flats, crack Marsh Flats, get a Plains, play Birds of Paradise, and pass the turn. When our opponent goes to crack this, we're going to Gavany Township, because we know they have Electrolyze. This way they can't just 2-for-1 our birds. Whew! Alright, we're kind of back in this game. Another Tasigur. Steam Vents, tapped. Electrolyzes a birds. We'll play Marsh Flats. Zur. Crack Marsh Flats. Get a Swamp. Play Doran. Zur-an assembled. Hopefully. Bolts are birds. Sure. Alright, pass the turn. Things are looking alright here. Especially if we get in a Zur attack. Then things are looking great. Certain Visions, Bottoms, Delver. Yup. Opponent goes attacking. Well, we are going to trade with Doran. Seems like a good deal. Oh no, opponent found a Fatal Push. I'll play Nyx Fleece Ram. Get Spell Snared. Oh, we need a removal spell. Oh, that was so painful. Come on, no flip, no flip, no flip. Blind Flip with a Thought Scour. Hit the 97%er. Well, play Doran. Opponent Thought Scours. Play Birds. Pass the turn. Land for our opponent. Gets in 4-2 with the Delver. Doran saving us some damage. This feels so weird. Alright, let's attack with Doran. Elin Umbra our birds. Opponent has a Spell Snare. Cracks Delta. Thought Scours. Goes to combat. Well, I think we gotta kill this Delver. Township. Delver down. What do you got, opponent? What do you got? Passes. Ooh, that's a draw. Spellskite. Attack with Doran. Pump the crew. Hit our opponent to 3. Pass the turn. Is that going to do it? Kolaghan's Command. Get back Tasigur. Play Tasigur. Opponent passes. Yeah, let's Inquisition. Take Brutality. Attack with Doran. Opponent's got a Chump. Yup. Activates Tasigur. Yeah, give our opponent Certain Visions. Pass the turn. So they get a draw and a redraw. There's the redraw with Certain Visions. But they're dead in one attack. Leaves both on top. Plays a tap land. Did they find a removal spell or a blocker to stay alive? Well, activate Township. Wow. That's pretty crazy. That was a really weird choice. Okay. I would think that killing Doran here would be the best bet, but did they just... Oh, they left a way to kill Doran on top. Wow, this is a brutal loss. There's Tasigur. Bloodstained Mire. I mean, it's like 90% that they kept a removal spell on top of their deck. We draw a useless land, attack with Doran. There it is, and we scoop it up. I mean, wow. Bring in Rest in Peace, which ruins our opponent's entire deck. I guess we can bring in the Negate, maybe. Go down Greater Auramancy, go down Noble Hierarch, and a Inquisition. Try it like that. Alright, this hand's not great by any stretch, but we get to Overgrown Tomb and Inquisition. Well, take Mana Leak, pass the turn. Steam Vents for our opponent, Delver of Secrets. Well, Forest and Assault Formation, pass the turn. Do they hit the 97%er? They don't. Bloodstained Mire for our opponent, and Delver number 2 gets in 4-1. Well, Wooded Foothills, crack Wooded Foothills. Temple Garden, untapped. Play Doran, pass the turn. Double Detention Sphere on these Delvers would be nice if they flip, or not. No flip! Alright. Dodge the bullet, 2 turns in a row. Blood Crypt for our opponent, tapped. No attacks. Well, play Courser. Play a Forest, gain a life. Get in with Doran. Opponent takes it, down to 12. No flip. No flip, 3 in a row! Whew, our luck! Our luck is actually good. Tasigur for our opponent. Land on top would be spectacular. Path. Alright, let's attack with both. Okay. Well, let's play a Spellskite. Pass the turn. I should have pumped there, I guess. Oh, that was a mistake. Well, at least Delver didn't flip still, somehow. Another land for our opponent, cracks it. Probably a Gurmag Angler coming. Man, land on the top of our deck. Come on, deck. Well, play Township, gain a life. It is a land. Attack with both. Opponent blocks. We pump. Hit our opponent down to 2. Path a Delver. Pass the turn. Wow, wow! I've never had this much Delver luck in my life. Fulminator Mage for our opponent. Gets in, 4-1. No land on top. Well, play Nyx Feast Ram. Opponent spells and errors, out of cards. Play Courser number 2. Get in with Courser. Opponent blocks, kills Township. Yup. Do you get the flip on the 5th try? Wow! Okay. Well, that makes up for all the blind flips our opponents have ever got, because that was some incredibly bad luck for our opponent. As bad as you can possibly imagine. And, alright, let's see if we can get lucky again. Alright, we'll try it. We're on the draw. Darkslick Shores for our opponent, and Certain Visions. Not a land. Well, Windswept Teeth, crack Windswept Teeth, get an Overgrown Tomb, untapped, Birds of Paradise, pass the turn. Steam Vents for our opponent, untapped. Certain Visions, and passes. Well, play Nyx Fleece Ram. Resolves, pass the turn. Still a sketchy situation with missing these land drops. There's Fatal Push on our bird. Not sure why our opponent let us untap with it. Opponent passes. We start gaining life. Land? Well, play birds. Pass the turn. Snapcaster Mage for Fatal Push. Yep. Bloodstained Mire for our opponent. Cracks it. And there's Tasigur. Opponent passes. Land? No land. Well, Birds of Paradise. This is not working the way we were hoping. Pass the turn. Kills our birds. Goes to combat. Attacks with both. Well, we block Tasigur. Opponent bolts our Nyx Fleece Ram. Polluted Delta. Land? Sort of. But not a land that lets us cast anything. Whoa. Yup. We be in trouble now, boys and girls. Super trouble. Opponent cracks Polluted Delta. Gets an island. Well, kill Snapcaster. Our Gavany Township comes back to haunt us. Can't cast anything. Pass the turn. Jeez. Oh man, this is gonna go down as a loss. An extremely disappointing loss. Oh man. This is about as painful of a loss as I can imagine, in all honesty. Opponent gets in. Down to 9. Land. Play Courser. And lose. Hey, it's a land! It took till turn 7. Oh boy. Well, that's how the game ends. Yep. Wow. Alright, against the odds time, playing some Zur-an. Doran, together at last, in Modern. And we got a mulligan that. We can't play our birds. Okay, we can try this. Land to the bottom. I guess this is fine. Hopefully we draw into some actual action. Oh dear. Alright, up against Ad Nauseam with the Lotus Bloom suspended. Can see the play-draw difference here. If we could Inquisition that Lotus Bloom, I feel much better. But on the draw, Horser, well, Windswept Teeth, crack Windswept Teeth, Overgrown Tomb, untapped, play the birds. And Pestern, Lotus Bloom ticking down towards our demise. Tap land for our opponent. And Sleight of Hand. Drawing creature removal. Well, let's Inquisition. Well, I think we just have to take Angel's Grace. Play Marsh Flats, pass the turn. Lotus Bloom, down to 1. Another Sleight of Hand. Alright, crack Marsh Flats. Get a Hallowed Fountain, tapped. Now play Courser. Play Windswept Teeth. Crack Windswept Teeth. Get a Godless Shrine, untapped. Are you for real, deck? Did you see that? We just shuffled into a birds again. And there's only 3 in our deck. Oh my god, deck. That's not ideal. Well, that's Inquisition. Pack, Simian Spirit Guide, Angel's Grace. Alright, we'll take the Angel's Grace. We're fighting through our opponent's stuff. There's a Lotus Bloom. They are an Angel's Grace away from winning. And we're drawing a useless birds. Alright, well, play Birds of Paradise. Get in with Courser. Path Birds of Paradise. Get a Forest. Gains a life. Well, at least we got rid of another Fatal Push that was dead. Temple Garden, tapped. Nyx Fleece Ram, not very good. Pestern. We're hoping for like a Zur or something along those lines. Seems like a hard matchup, especially pre-sideboarding. Opponent finds a land. Are we dead? Not yet. Oh boy. Oh boy. More Fatal Pushes on top of our deck. As good as we are against aggro, as bad we are against Ad Nauseam at the moment. Another Lotus Bloom. We're drawing a pretty useless Fatal Push. Gaining life, though. Another Nyx Fleece Ram! We're giving our opponent an infinity to draw their pieces. Oh my god. Oh. Deck. This is the very wrong half of our deck for this matchup. Are we dead? Not yet. We gain a life. Spellskite. I guess that's slightly more relevant than some things. Down to 9. We're making it so they can't natural... They need to find Angel's Grace effect. They can't just naturally Ad Nauseam because they're at such a low life total, but 2 a turn is so slow. And we haven't found any shuffle effects. Uh-oh, here it is. Maybe. Opponent's down to 8. Prism, more mana. Opponent passes. We gain 2 life. Another Courser. Well, that's a creature with toughness or power. Get in with Courser. Opponent's down to 6. They have all the mana in the world. They get another Lotus Bloom. Wow. Ad Nauseam to 5. Lands. 4. 1. They did not find a combo piece, and they're at 1. Okay. Are we going to win? Is this actually going to be good enough for us to win? They found Serum Visions. There's Lotus Bloom. Can't tap this. Serum Visions. I think we somehow won against all odds. The world's slowest clock, and our opponent never found it. We drew all 0 power creatures in a Courser. Oh my goodness, and we got there. Oh, that should not happen. Not ever. No way. No how. Well, Thought Seizes come in. Eidolon of Rhetoric comes in. Nevermore comes in. Rune Halo comes in. Stony Silence comes in. Going down, basically anything that kills creatures. We'll go down the Eland Umbra. Kind of ambitious. D-Sphere is fine. We'll also go down Aetherios in this matchup. Okay, this could work. At least we have a clock, assuming we get Doran down. Opponent plays Lotus Bloom. Are we going to win again? All right, that's good. Let's just lead on Marsh Flats. Pass the turn. Lotus Bloom. Taken down. Seachrome Coast for our opponent. We'll crack this. Get a Hallowed Fountain. Tapped. Then we'll just Swamp and Spellskite. Lotus Bloom's on 2. On 1. Gemstone Mine for our opponent. Oh, goodness. We might just be dead next turn. Ooh. Never mind. Well, we're going to take a turn off, play Stony Silence, play Windswept Teeth, and pass the turn. Kind of a no-bo with Spellskite, but it stops this Lotus Bloom from immediately killing us. City of Brass for our opponent, up to 4 mana. We'll crack this. Get a Godless Shrine, tapped. Marsh Flats, crack Marsh Flats. Get a Plains. Play Greater Oromancy. Play Ruined Halo on Lightning Storm. Pass the turn. So their opponent have land ad nauseum. No land. Come on, Thoughtseize. Another Spellskite. Well, Temple Garden, untapped. Doran, get in, 4/4. Play a Spellskite, and pass the turn. We can actually get our opponent to 0 next turn with Township, if we're still living. Opponent passes. We play Township. Fire up Township. Attack with everything. Put our opponent to 0. Well, this is it. Can you kill us this turn, opponent? Or we got you next turn. Exactly the damage to get our opponent to 0. I guess I could also kill Doran. And we got the GGs! Wow! Taking down combo too. No Zur this game, but we got the Doran part. Whoo! Sweet! Alright, against the odds time. Playing some Zur-an in Modern. Alright, we drew Zurs. Many Zurs. Alright, this hand's okay. Forest for our opponent and Arbor Elf. This could be something very bad for us. Marsh Flats, go. Okay, this looks like elves. Oh. Is this on red? Yeah, this is the Ponza deck. This is bad news. Wooded Foothills, go. More lands for our opponent. More Utopia Sprawls for our opponent. Goes attacking. Oh, that's a good draw. That puts our opponent off a lot of mana here. I think we still just pass. Nykthos. Oh, maybe this is Green-Red Devotion? Eternal Witness to get back Utopia Sprawl. Oh, alright, this isn't Ponza, so we can start playing Magic. Although, there still are some concerns. Opponent's down to 1 card, though. Opponent passes. Well, crack this, get a Breeding Pool, tapped. Crack this, get a Temple Garden, play Township, play Courser, pass the turn. See what horrible thing our opponent's last card is. Taps, untaps. Taps. They have Primal Command. It's a Hornet Queen. That's annoying. Opponent passes. Well, Marsh Flats. Crack this. Get a Swamp. More Forest on top. We get our Zur down, though, so there's a Zur. Pass the turn. Another land. 1 card for our opponent. Come on, nothing crazy. Ugh, it's something crazy. Yep. Does our opponent win here? Primeval Titan. Green Devotion's such a funny deck. It's very good at beating other fair decks, because it can go over the top very easily, especially if it gets a reasonable draw, like this. On the other hand, it is pretty much drawing dead against any sort of combo deck. Aetherios on top. Well, let's attack with Zur. I guess we get Detention Sphere, kill. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, we can kill the Primeval Titan, but we're dead. Opponent kills our Zur. Yep. Blocks, yes. Block with everything, sure. Play Courser. Play a fetch land, gain some life. Crack the fetch land. Shuffle the Inquisition back to the top of our deck, and pestered. Yeah, this is over. Alright. Good game. So against this deck, we can bring in the Path. We can bring in our Thoughtseizes. And maybe Spreading Seas. We might have to go a more controlling route. Go down Aetherios, go down the Eland Umbra, Greater Oromancy, try it like that. Alright, we're on the play. Well, at least we got an Inquisition to start off, that's good. Overgrown Tomb, untapped, Inquisition, take Utopia Sprawl, pass the turn. So our opponent needs to draw lands to even do anything. Well, Marsh Flats, go. And we do have Zurs. Alright, opponent drew the Forest. I'll crack Marsh Flats, get a Temple Garden, tapped. We could draw Removal too. We wanted to tutor that up. Well, Hallowed Fountain, untapped, and Courser. Zur number 3 on top. Alright. Land off the top. Into Harmonize, and now we're probably in trouble again. Whew. Well, Watery Grave, untapped. Gain a life. We get to play a Zur, but it might just be too little too late here. Get in with Courser, and pass the turn. Let's see what our opponent can do here. There's land. Probably Thragtusk, I'm assuming. Utopia Sprawl. Eternal Witness. Gets back Utopia Sprawl. Chance of Forest. Interesting. And passes. Spreading Seas the Forest. Utopia Sprawl dies. We draw a card. Inquisition. Inquisition our opponent. Thragtusk, Emrakul, Tooth and Nail. Okay. Attack with both. Zur gets Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas the Forest. Draw a card. Ghost Quarter. Gain a life. And Assault Formation. Alright. I feel like we're back in it. Our opponents are going to have a hard time casting those expensive things without the Utopia Sprawls. They can Thragtusk to gain back a bunch of life. Yep, there's Thragtusk. And we got to make sure they don't get to the point of Tooth and Nailing. Opponent passes. Well, there's a Windswept Teeth, so play Windswept Teeth. Gain a life. Attack with Zur for 4. Tutor out a Detention Sphere. Detention Sphere, the Voyaging Satyr. Play Nyx Fleece Ram and Pestern. Alright, I think we're good. I think our Zur value with Assault Formation might be enough. Whew, there were some hairy moments where our opponent drew those lands, but I guess they could Tooth a Nail just to put creatures in their hand. Might have to be their plan. And we can actually block Thragtusk by pumping. So block with Nyx Fleece Ram, pump, toughness. Opponent gets a beast. Well, crack Windswept Teeth. We don't want to draw Marsh Flats. Get a Godless Shrine. Tapped. Another Courser. Alright. Gain a life. Birds on top. Well, attack with everything. Tutor out a Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas, the Rootbound Crag. And I think we're going to Zur our way to victory here. Whoo, man. Alright. We see the fizzle rate from this Green Devotion deck, but it's probably going to wreck us next game. Opponent chumps. Yup. Well, play another Courser. Play a Plains. Doran on top. And we should have lethal next turn. While our creatures don't have much power, they actually do thanks to Assault Formation. Our opponent can put Emrakul into play with the hidden mode of Tooth and Nail. Alright, there's Tooth and Nail. Yep, put 2 creatures onto the battlefield. It's an Emrakul. But I think we actually just win through Emrakul here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, so just attack with everything. Tutor up, whatever. I guess just another Courser. Opponent blocks. 4, 8, 12. Yeah, so this should just be lethal without doing anything. Whoo! Alright. Assault Formation Zur-an getting it done. This feels like a bad matchup. Alright, we'll try this. Forest for our opponent. And Arbor Elf. We could use removal or discard. Or Windswept Teeth. Marsh Flats go. We might just get ran over. Rootbound Crag for our opponent. Birds of Paradise. Untaps. Voyaging Satyr. Well, our opponent's got the ramp. Come on, Thoughtseize off the top. Alright, let's get Temple Garden tapped. Another Courser. Windswept Teeth go. Jeez. Opponent has 6 mana, most likely on turn 3. 5 mana. Overgrowth. Even more mana. Untaps it. What's the last card? Alright, well, our opponent's all ramp. Oh, we just gotta hope we could deal with this. Crack our Windswept Teeth. Get a Breeding Pool. Tapped. No, Overgrown Tomb. Untapped. And Doran. Pass turn. That's a clock. And we got the Zur. We need our opponent to not draw anything crazy for about 2 turns. 2 or maybe 4. Alright, land. Faded 1 draw. Opponent gets in with birds. Yup. Well, let's get in with Doran. Hit our opponent for 5. Play the forest. Play our Zur. We have Zur-an. Pass the turn. Oh, come on. Fade it. Fade it. Nothing. Oh. Alright. Opponent passes. Ooh, Fatal Push is interesting. Well, let's go attacking. Tutor up Detention Sphere. Detention Sphere, Voyaging Satyr. Opponent blocks. Well, play a Courser. Play Wooded Foothills. Stop on our opponent's upkeep. Fatal Push. Board is clear, and we have lethal from Zur-an. Opponent plays land. Eternal Witness. Alright, gets back a blocker. Opponent's staying alive, so I don't think we can literally win this turn. We do get to crack Wooded Foothills, shuffle away this Zur. Get our last forest, and land on top anyway. Alright. I'll play Gavany Township, gain a life. Attack with the crew, see what our opponent does. I guess we can just spreading seas. Opponent blocks. Takes 8-3. Well, play the birds. Play a Nyx Fleece Ram. Play a Courser. And pass the turn. Opponent, what do they draw? This is it. Just an Overgrowth. Wow, we got there. And our opponent scoops it up. Whoo! Wow, I can't believe we won that. I can't believe we beat that deck. Wow, Green Devotion is pretty good against decks like ours, but we found the right combination of cards, and there is a fail rate when it comes to Green Devotion, and we saw that the last game, so whew, sweet. So what do we learn this week about Zur-an in Modern? And I have to say, I was really happy with the deck. We actually posted a pretty reasonable record. We got in 6 matches and won 4 of them, which is like 66.67%. We also played a total of 14 games and won 9, which is like 62%. And we were really close to winning that Delver match as well. That match was really weird and super close. I felt like we could have won it. Of course, we also beat Ad Nauseam, which is a deck that I don't think we consistently beat, but we got kind of lucky and our opponent just didn't draw their stuff. So I don't know. I was actually pretty impressed with how the deck worked. The plan was awesome. And as I mentioned before, I really struggled with finding the right build of Zur. I didn't just want to play like Esper Zur, where it's just all control stuff. I didn't want to do that. But the Doran plan was super sweet. Like, they work really well together, Doran and Zur. Like, they naturally just seem to fit together. The colors are kind of crazy. You do have to be 4 colors, but being able to search out what are essentially 5/5s and 4/4s with the upside of gaining life, which just makes our deck insane against aggro. Like, I don't know how we ever lose to Burn, and we played Burn 2 different versions in our 6 matches, and both matches, we won super easy. It wasn't even a little bit close. And we're also just really good against aggro in general. If people are playing Zoo decks, things like that, we just naturally have so many cards that just wreck those decks. So I was really happy with how the deck turned out. We have a lot of just good stuff going on, and both Zur and Doran just generate a ton of value in this deck. We have legitimate nut draws, not like turn 2 Emrakul nut draws, but when we just go turn 2 Doran off of a birds into turn 3 Zur, those games are really hard to lose. We're attacking for a ton of damage, we're tutoring up removal, we're tutoring up ways to gain life and kind of draw better with Courser, filter through our deck a little bit, protection in Greater Oromancy and Elan Umbra, so we just have a lot of things covered. So all around, I'm just really happy with how this deck played, and I was really impressed. Like, it felt like a reasonably competitive Modern deck. Is it like tier 1? Probably not, but I think you could take this deck to an F&M and definitely compete with it. It felt really good, and just it ran well. All the pieces fit together, so I don't know. I was really happy with how this one turned out and had a lot of fun playing it. It's a really sweet idea. So anyway, that's been our Against the Odds for this week. If you want to vote for next week's deck, make sure to follow the link in the description to the article on the site. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon.